of stuff are they giving you the most trouble about in terms of censorship? Nudity or
like
language?
waking up.
Just getting out of bed in the morning?
They just have it in their minds that they want to hire somebody, but they don't want any communication made. You know, they want to like make you into something. I don't know. It's like, I guess it goes into white homes. They're worried about that a lot.
What is it? Yeah, you know, it's funny. Gwen Barrett, our associate producer, or sometime producer, is black. You know, and Carmen Matias is Hispanic.
You have to be colored to be on television. You can't,
yeah, colored.
Yes, you can't be black. You have to have a little colored in there, just a taste.
Tad.
Yeah, just to keep it interesting for America.
Yeah. Well, she said, and we were talking about your humor, that your humor offends white people, and I'm not that easily offended. Like, I'm not coming from a spot where Richard Pryor is going to offend me. I think you have humor that makes us see a lot of the truth and laugh at things we wouldn't normally laugh at. I think that's part of what you're doing. What do you think that these executives are afraid you're going to do to white America?
Probably stop some racism.
Stop racism?
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? It's me, Crimson60620. And, shit, first of all, I want to say thank you to Four Gathers for actually following on Twitch. Thank you. If you guys don't know, I do a live, I do dual stream between Twitch and YouTube. So, yeah, thank you for actually subscribing and, or following. How's everybody been doing? Let's be honest, guys. It has been just a week. Like, it has been a week. It's been a couple of weeks, and I know I haven't streamed since, what was it, last Monday probably. It's just been one of those times where it's just like yeah. And I actually want to take the time to actually just have a conversation about that. So the first thing I do want to say is, guys, if you need time to yourself, if you need to actually recharge, if you need time away from the internet, take time away from the internet. Go out and touch grass. Go out and touch grass. Or ass. Or something to get you out of just like staying on the internet space. And I'm gonna give enough time for people to get notifications to come in. It has been it's been just a difficult summer for me. Besides me actually, because if you guys know, sorry about that. If you guys know, I actually, of course I'm doing YouTube because I want to actually go and do something. I want to get rid of my fucking 9-to-5 job. Not saying that I want to make a lot of fucking money, but I just want to get rid of my 9-to-5 job. But there are also a few things that I literally try to do to try to just get away from like the fucking wage slavery that I'm actually stuck with. It's been a struggle. And so one of the things, to be honest with you guys, like it's been a struggle. And sometimes I'm just not feeling like always, being that come on here and just be the I don't give a fuck type about what people say or how people feel about me. And it's still kind of true. It's just like sometimes that I don't give a fuck type, well, kind of leads you to just like not play by terms and service that would actually be cool for YouTube. So yeah, I was kind of feeling like an asshole, and I didn't want to get out and be like an asshole. So yeah. Also, just to like, if you didn't know, of course the Linktree link is in the description. But if you didn't know, I've been doing a lot of art. I have actually been doing a lot of art, and that does take some it does take some energy out of it. So yeah. So with me doing a lot of art, with me actually kind of like and I'm sorry I got my window open, so cuz it's actually pretty it's pretty decent, but I've been like in having a lot of I've been wanting to have a lot more air, so I keep my window open. But yeah, sure. I am it has been it's been some issues, man. And a lot of it is just malaise. A lot of it is just like I kind of just I wanted to get ready and put out a stream, but it's like I didn't feel like setting shit up. Like, you know how you just want to do something but you don't want to just take the time to do the shit, and it's just like fuck, like fuck my life, man. And I just it's been hard, man. It's literally one of those things where it's just like I I just haven't been feeling it. And so I would rather come out here and like I would rather not do a stream than come on here and do a half-ass stream. Even though I know I had a playlist that used to be called Half-Ass Show. But even then it was like self-aware, right? Anyway, shit, I'm still like rambling. I'm actually just giving time for people to come in and have the show up and all the other good shit. So yeah. Also with me doing a lot of the shows and shit, I've also been spending time outside of like streaming on let's be honest, I've been spending a lot of time outside of streaming on just kind of like making sure that I interact with people in real life. And if you are somebody who actually watches my show, watches my channel and all that other good shit, I hope you actually have some time to spend with somebody out in real life too. Mostly just been hanging out with my neighbor. Also a friend of mine, another friend of mine. But I wanted to actually take the time to show you guys. So here, let's actually do something. Another reason why I've actually been kind of like having an issue with wanting to stream is because I've been looking at these, right? So one of my things with actually streaming, and this is just my thing. One of my things with actually streaming is I don't like having a lot of lights in my face. So I actually do I sit at a computer all day. And so with me sitting at a computer all day, I want to try to minimize as much bright light to my eyes as possible. That's why I have the glasses. They're not prescription, they're just blue light glasses. So I just been looking at different cameras that actually have the light built in, so I don't have to turn over my big studio lights, because I actually have studio lights over here. one over here and one over there. So, and yeah, like, no, that's something you can actually just see some of the stuff that I've actually been doing. But also, let's just actually take a look at some of the art that I've been actually working on. So this is a commission piece that I had. This is a commission piece that I had that this is the second time I've had to redo it, because the first time I did it, it got lost in the motherfucking mail. And I sent it off. Like, I had the commission right after Anime Midwest. And with that, it was supposed to be there and done. It was supposed to be sent in, and it got like stuck in a holding pattern. And that kind of pissed me off, because 2 weeks later, my client that I did the original art piece for literally called me, was like, hey, didn't get my artwork. And so you guys tell me something here. Let's see if I can actually just pull it up in this window. Now, this is the original piece of work. Here. And this is the updated one. I think I like the updated one better. Now, it's a little bit lighter on the page because it was scanned that way, but I think I like the updated one better. I don't know. You guys tell me. Do you like the updated one, or do you like the original one? Anyway, let's close that one out. This is also something else that I've been working on. If you don't know, this is Lily, and I'm working on all of them. And here, this is the one that I was working on with Lotus. And if you guys know, let's see if I can actually just try to bring it up. Give me a second. Giving everybody time to just come in and let holler, talk, whatever. Did I load it up? No, I didn't load it up. Let's see something. I think it's in my drive. Hold on. Actually, I know it's in my drive. Yep, right there in my drive. So yeah, this is the one I did for Arcturus. So you see the Arcturus, the Lotus, the Lily, and of course I have to do Rose. So yeah. Let's see. Did the commission and did those two. This is actually a new one that I did. It's called Peppermint. For obvious reasons. So yeah, this is something that I've actually worked on. I just finished this one. So yeah. So yeah, that's what my last 2 weeks have been. Yeah, some of it is just like low fucking energy. And the last few weeks has just been it's been different. So yeah, let's go into some videos, shall we? All right. So yeah, oh God. All right, but we're gonna go into some videos right now, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between, because it's time to have some fucking fun on this Friday night. I have to work tomorrow, and so I'm kind of like, right now I'm kind of just like, I'm kind of right now. But no worries, no worries. We're gonna get to the videos, and we're gonna have some fun tonight. All right. All right. So, hi guys, how you doing? I'm back. And before we get into the video, I do want to say, if you're watching the stream, please hit that like button, hit that follow, and hit that subscribe, whatever. And also, if you want to help out with the stream, my links are in the description to actually help out with the stream. What would actually help out with the stream would be you actually subscribing to my YouTube channel and following me on my Twitch and catching my episodes when I go live and hit that notification. All right, so now that we got that out the way, let's go into this video. Now, what is interesting, I was watching this video and it came up in my recommendations, and this isn't a video of where I want to actually address this video, not so much as a takedown video, but more of a critique. And even though I'm not completely for what Chris, this is a video talking about Chris Hedge, and even though I'm not fully with his policies, because I believe he's more of a right-wing person, I still want to actually address this video because I watched it and I feel I had some commentary for it. So let's go ahead and look at that video. Let's go.
Death, the struggle with our own mortality, the search for a life of meaning, love, the capacity for transformation. Those forces are ones that make us stop and become introspective and think and look within ourselves to see who we are and where we're going. And that.
Now, okay, so this is what I mean by like the moralizing. Just like, oh my gosh, you're gonna die one day, and then you have to think about it. Like, yeah, I get it. That would drive some people. But what about living? But let's go.
That's what any totalitarian state seeks to crush. And yet, we kind of blissfully have checked out.
Now, this is, I don't know if this is from a longer video, but this is American Psychosis on the U.S. empire of narcissism and psychopathy. And you guys will see why I decided to try to go into this direction with actually looking into the video. But let's go.
Most people have no concept of how fragile their environment is. I think you have to, as I have done, live in societies that collapse to realize how quickly they go down and how fragile they are. And so there's a kind of emotional incapacity to understand collapse, even when it's facing you.
Now, this is actually pretty telling. Everybody thinks times are good until they're not. And that's generally how a lot of things go. Not saying be all doomer and shit about it, but everybody thinks that times are good until they're not. But let's continue.
I spent 20 years outside the United States, and I had covered as a foreign correspondent totalitarian cultures, everything from the East German Stasi state to Slobodan Milosevic's Serbia. So I know how totalitarian systems work. I know the kind of dark emotions they evoke. I know the mechanisms they use to shut down dissent. And when I came back, it was utterly apparent that the country had gone collectively insane.
Now, okay. Again, this is a little bit hyperbolic. Now, I admit, especially now after the age of Trump, what's going on with like, especially with some of the Republicans are trying to get that totalitarian power, try to whip people up in a frenzy. Yeah, of course, you actually have that, but yeah, he's been a little hyperbolic, but let's go.
In a very frightening way. Not only their misunderstanding of the wider world, something as a foreign correspondent I was very cognizant of, but their misunderstanding of who they were and where they were going.
I swear, if this video didn't have as many pauses,
the nature of illusion
only be about
is that
15
it's
minutes
designed,
long, 10
at
minutes
least
long.
at the moment, to make you feel good. about yourself, about your country, about where you're going. In that sense, it functions like a drug. Those who question that illusion are challenged not so much for the veracity of what they say, but for puncturing those feelings.
Okay, now this is actually interesting. So this actually harkens back to what you would actually see from Manufacturing Consent, what Noam Chomsky actually says. What you see is you see a culture that's trying to get you to consent and say everything is okay. And when you challenge that, and whatever way that you choose to challenge it, if you see it with, say, like, people who, in good and bad ways. So, for example, you see it, people like, oh yeah, the deep state, they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that, which is bullshit. Like, the CIA, unfortunately, doesn't have to hide much. They do the shit out in the open, and they just say, oh no, we didn't, and then most people turn their heads. So, like, that's something that definitely is something. But you also see it in other ways. For instance, those of us who are non-believers, you get that, and you get those people that are so hell-bent on saying, no, you have to believe. You have to believe, because it seems as if you're questioning their worldview. And of course, you get like those people that's like, no, you believe, but you just pretending like you don't. And that's one of those things. You know, you see all these other you see all this other, you know, different punctures in that whole, well, no, America is a meritocracy. No, it's not. It's depending on where you live and who your parents are. No, I did it all myself. Bullshit. There is no more racism. The fuck? But yeah, like, these are some of the things that you see people get upset about, because it seems as if you're puncturing that world of where things are supposed to be. But let's continue.
Attempt to get up and question where we're going and who we are. And the critique will be that you're such a pessimist, that you're such a cynic, that you're not an optimist. Optimism becomes a kind of disease. It's what created the financial meltdown, where you have this kind of cheerful optimism in the face of utter catastrophe, and you plow forward based on an optimism that is no longer rooted in reality.
So again, this is one of the reasons why I want to actually make this video, address this video, because it is true. How many times do you see people from Generation X, people from from the Boomer generation that says, no, these kids don't need their student loans reversed. No, it's okay. You should get by in this job. And it's just like, dude, no, you expect that. You expect the American dream to be there for you, when it's not. You expect that we should be cool with, like, the situation on the ground has actually changed. And what Chris is actually addressing is, like, in some way, when you're trying to push back of what people perceive to be the status quo, you're seen as a pessimist. You're seeing it, oh, why are you trying to joy kill? Oh, why don't you just go along with the ride? But let's continue.
If hope becomes something that you express through illusion, then it's not hope, it's fantasy.
That's true, but let's go.
The cult of the self is, in biblical terms, a form of idolatry. Everything is about you. Whether it's the worship of power or money, it all goes back to the self. It all goes back to creating little monuments to yourself. All investment into a particular goal of self-aggrandizement.
Now, I will say this. This is kind of one of the points that I actually disagree with Chris on. When you actually look at it, a lot of religions, especially the Abrahamic religions, they are nothing but self-aggrandizement. They are nothing but, the God of the Bible actually, the God who created the universe actually loves me so much that he has a plan, or he's sovereign and he cares about me and what I do, whether it's good or bad. And like, no, like, especially the Abrahamic religions, they are so self-absorbed. And like, no, they are so self-absorbed. And like, to say they're not Yeah, no, but let's continue.
Is a kind of pathetic attempt at self-exaltation in a kind of maybe even subconscious way at immortality. We have replicated the patterns that past civilizations in collapse underwent. An elite that is no longer connected with the real, that retreats into their bubbles like the Forbidden City or Versailles, and yet has total economic and political power. The crumbling of infrastructure, civilizations always decay, their cities go first, we've already done that. The retreat into illusion. The danger is that this time when we go down, the whole planet's going to go with us.
And see, this is one of the reasons why, yes, we are causing a big issue with climate change. And this is some of that whole end of history type shit that you actually saw in the late 90s, late 80s, early 90s of like, oh my God, this is like, no, the world will keep spinning without us. There have been 4 great extinctions during the time that this Earth has been circling around this particular star. And when we go, the Earth is going to keep going on. I'm just saying. But if we want a future for our children and grandchildren, of course we need to do something about it. But I say that just to say that I recognize the alarmism, which is actually justified, but it's still kind of going to the self-aggrandizement, the overly self-important. But let's go.
The corporate state has made a war against critical thinking, and in particular the humanities, because the humanities at their best are about teaching people how to think rather than what to think. They're about teaching people to challenge assumptions and structures. The discipline of the humanities is subversive. It's meant to be subversive.
All right, and this is actually a pretty cool point. Even though he's in journalism, even though he's a mainstream journalist, this is actually pretty cool. Because right now you don't have a lot of corporations. Even like if we go to like the channels like Disney, and even though they have come up with some great creative things, a lot of the Disney stuff is you can't stray away from a specific formula. Yeah, you can actually push it, and it's an example. You can push certain boundaries, but it's an example of the fact that, let's be honest, most corporations are pushing the cult of you, what actually makes you feel good. And you see it with what comes out with a lot of these stories. I didn't like The Last Jedi, so we're going to change it. We're going to change a lot of shit for Rise of Skywalker. I don't like this. It doesn't play to this. You don't play to the big fans. Like, you're missing out on so much creativity in order to appease not your fans particularly, but, you know, trying to make the red line go up, trying to make line go up, try to make it seem like you have people are seeing things instead of actually enjoying things. And yes, just because things are popular doesn't mean that people are actually enjoying it. It means that a lot of people are watching it en masse. And then, of course, you fall into the at popular fantasy, or since a lot of people watching it, it must be good. It's a discussion I've been having with a couple of people about popular shows. But let's get back to the video.
The other thing that the failure to think critically does is it creates a very frightening historical amnesia. So you don't know how you got here. You don't know where you came from. And again, that is something that popular culture, let's call it totalitarian capitalism, seeks to put in place so that people interpret their problems as personal problems rather than political or social problems.
So okay, so this is what I have an issue with. Stop trying to say what corporate capitalism, totalitarian capitalism. No, it's just fucking capitalism. That's what it is. It's just capitalism. It's what capitalism end goal is. Marx knew this 160 fucking years ago. 160? A little bit over 160 years ago. The fact that we actually have to deal with what capitalism is, this owning of the means of production by a select few, that what they're trying to do is get more and more power, eat up more and more power. It's leading to this. I mean, like, it's all about chasing that better bread, that that more pie in the sky. And he said something. Let me just go back just a little bit, because he said something that's actually pretty cool.
People interpret their problems as personal problems rather than political or social problems.
Another thing, just like he said, and that was like great pause game. But how many times do you hear from right wingers that no, these people need to make better decisions? Oh no, it's an issue where it's something that this person needs to do. This person needs to be to change their decision. It's their fault. Instead of looking at the systemic things. Like, I wanted to go over it, and I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do it today. But that when you get people like Ben Shapiro, like Charlie Kirk, Smallface, you get Joe fucking Rogan, you get all of these people, all of these right-wing people that says, no, whatever problems you have is your fault. You should be stronger than the system, even though the system has been oppressing millions upon hundreds of millions of people. You should be stronger than that because reasons, right? It doesn't matter. Pick yourself out of bootstraps and call it a fucking day. Well, people know that it's the fucking system. It's the system. It's the system. But what happens is so many people are bought into the fact that I did this. I made myself a self-made man. And yet and still you can't point to any billionaire that made themselves a self-made person. But let's continue.
When you don't understand what's going on, when you imbibe the illusion that you're fed, the belief that reality is never an impediment to what you desire, that you can have everything you want, that blinds you. It keeps you from seeing what's happening around you. Then, because you are intellectually and emotionally unprepared, you scream for moral renewal and a new savior and a demagogue and vengeance. And at that point, you vomit it up. These very frightening figures. So
I want to actually stop this right now. And so this is something that's actually very, very troubling, both on the left and the right. Now, you actually can go on my channel and actually see when I say that we should vote for Bernie Sanders. But I also make that video when he lost the primary that it's more than him. He's more than the movement is more than him. The fact that you want to actually demonize certain people instead of actually addressing the system. I was watching what was I watching? God damn it. I was watching the latest Dystopian Times. The one that had Lance, Vaj, Demon Mama, and I forgot the other cat that was on there. And you get these, and it was a discussions about how to motivate the left. The right is easy. The way the right actually just thinks and the way they actually focus on things, of course, it's more of they're looking for a strong man. They're looking for, they fall more easily into authoritarianism because they look for the strong man. But the left in some ways are the same way too. Because what ends up happening is, let's just address it. They see a loss in one election, they see a loss in two elections, and they become disenfranchised instead of trying to fight for their side a little bit better. And it's just sad because instead of actually treating these politicians as if they're your employees, your representative, your senators, a lot of people looked at them as their saviors. They're not our saviors. They're our employees. And when you become disenfranchised so much, you start screaming for blood because you think that this, you get a demagogue that says, oh, they're your problem. Oh, this group is your problem. And that's not good. Because what that ends up doing, what that ends up doing is making scapegoats. Or when you see it on the left, when you see people that are generally on the left, well, voting isn't working, so we're just going to sit back and wait for a revolution. But let's continue.
The lunatic fringe of our political establishment, which is often laughed at by even a majority of the populace, in moments like that suddenly seizes power. You can oftentimes, in moments of breakdown, have a society clamor for their own enslavement. The cost that we're paying is that the forces arrayed against us are going to kill us. Unfettered, unregulated capitalism is a revolutionary force, as Karl Marx understood. It exploits everything. Everything becomes a commodity. Human beings become commodities. The natural world becomes a commodity that it exploits until exhaustion or collapse.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you see a lot of people, when you commodify everything, it's just sad.
And that's why the environmental crisis is intimately twinned with the economic crisis.
Oh, God.
40% of the summer Arctic sea ice melts. And that becomes a business opportunity for Shell that's up there dropping $500 million drill bits down into the Arctic Sea. It's insane. When societies reach the kind of end stage, the language they use to describe their own economic and political and social and cultural reality bears no resemblance to that reality, which is where we are. The language of free market, laissez-faire capitalism is what they feed business students and the wider public, but it is an ideology that bears absolutely no resemblance to the reality, and that gets back to the fact that of living in a kind of culture warped by pervasive illusion and
So did you actually just get that? Like, one of the things that was the reason why I want to actually just do this as a review is because what he's saying is, and going back to a previous point he just said, was that when you deal with the fact that everything is commodified, where everything, like, I'm doing something here. Let's just bring it up close. I'm doing something that literally is me commodifying myself, because I'm so looking to kind of, I don't know, make additional funds, because we have so much wealth inequality. We have so much where people are drowning in debt, myself included, where people are not being able to make ends meet, that we're trying to commodify everything. Me giving you this opinion is a commodity. YouTube is actually using it to bring watch time and subscribers. By the way, subscribe, follow. And Twitch is using it. Bezos is actually using it to get you guys to watch me have a review of a video. That's commodifying. It's a way of making money. I'm not only commodifying something that I do for fun, but even with going back to going over my art, that's commodifying it. That's literally me trying to make money off of something that I just enjoy. Now, I know you're sitting back and thinking like, Crimson, well, that's the way the world is. But it's not the way the world has to be. And the fact is, we're taking something as creative endeavors such as art or storytelling, and having to turn that into commodity just to make sure that people are barely surviving. That's a problem. The enjoyment of the arts should be something that should not have to be commodified to the extent that it does. The enjoyment of having a roof over your head. Why is housing a commodity? Why is healthcare a commodity? When we have it where a healthy citizens, where healthy citizens are what the government would actually need. Where educated citizens is what the government actually needs. We're employed to a level where they're not struggling. Citizens are what a government needs to actually prosper. And even if you want to do the cynical thing of, well, you need strong people for the military, you're not supporting it. You need smart people for the military. You're not supporting it. You need people that's able to spend money in making sure that they have their basic needs met so we can tax as many people as we can. You're not supporting it. But when somebody says, hey, let's decommodify housing, let's do Medicare for all, that's looked at strange because you don't want somebody's government hands on your Medicare. Newsflash for you, buddy. Newsflash. Or you don't want some government bureaucrat telling you what procedures you can and can't get. Have you ever talked to a private healthcare bureaucrat? But let's continue.
Self-delusion. Totalitarian societies by their nature are hypermasculine cultures and seek to banish empathy. They not only ignore the vulnerable and the weak, but they ridicule them and persecute them. They celebrate supposed values of force, strength, violence, and empathy is seen as weakness.
So for all of you right-wingers that think, oh no, the left is trying to take over, when you have these hyper-masculine, not only I'm going to be masculine, we're going to dominate. We're going to bully everybody to be these super machismo males. The left isn't looking for that. We just want people tolerance. But I guess to people who want to, when you're used to being dominant, equality feels like oppression. But let's continue.
I mean, in a free market society, all of those companies like Goldman Sachs would have gone into bankruptcy. But we don't live in a so-called free market. We live in a kind of bizarre species of corporate socialism. So in the end process of decayed states, you have forces in essence cannibalizing the state itself, which is where we are. I mean, a poor person of color on the streets of Camden, New Jersey are worth nothing to the state. Put them behind bars, they're worth $40,000 or $50,000 a year to prison contractors and food service companies and phone card companies. And that is something that is very real, but often not even understood by the victims themselves.
So, did you guys just catch that? You as somebody who may not have any generational wealth, that may be my complexion or darker, you're nothing to the state unless they can lock you up, unless they can sell you to a private prison company, unless they can sell you to have, while you're sold to that private prison company, you get to be fed, and money is made that way. But let's continue.
Totalitarian societies seek to funnel all intellectual and emotional energy into spectacle, into the Super Bowl, into celebrity saga. It's why the Nazi Party made sure every single household got a free radio. And now you sit there and watch Basketball Wives. You see Jay-Z's crib and how many cars he has. And it's the great kind of pacifier. I wrote a book called Empire of Illusion, The End of Literacy and the Triumph of Spectacle, which is about the danger of unplugging yourself from a print-based culture.
So, and this is one of those things where it's just like, oh my God, you're using, like, his whole thing about being biased, like, that's an understatement. The book he's just talking about being disconnected from a print-based media. Like, we read shit on the internet, dog. Like, you can read internet articles. Like, this is the whole, oh my God, this is the whole, like, I hate to say, but okay, boomer. You can learn from watching a video documentary. I'm not going to say watching YouTube. Oh God. So many people that try to use, I watched this video on YouTube or Facebook. No, it's actually where we have a demonization of knowledge, a demonization of expertise. We have that now in this country, which is actually quite sad. But let's continue.
So I actively resist the attempts by popular culture, which of course is largely.
Oh yeah, no, print media was full of bias as well. But he's coming from a position where no, print media was sacred. No, it was just a different. It's one of those arguments that people say like, why would I watch cartoons when you see people that watch anime? People that watch anime, that's just cartoons. Or better yet, why would you just play video games? You spend hours playing video games. You spend hours watching football Sunday each week during football season or baseball. But yeah, let's continue.
Dominated by for-profit corporations to give me a language by which I speak and an understanding of the world. Underneath the guise of consumerism is unadulterated hedonism. I mean, it's infected everything, including spirituality, which in its real form has nothing to do with us. It has to do with our neighbor. I mean, the whole point of, and again, I speak as a seminarian, of a life of commitment is picking up a cross. It's not a...
And see, this is where I kind of like, this is where like you see, again, his bias actually kind of get into it. And it's more along the lines of like, oh, come on now. If you want to actually make the intent that people should just be better to each other, cool, but don't put it as actually religion knows it best. Like, come on now, we've been down that route and we've actually seen it. It's not always religion that actually knows the best way to actually take care of it. But let's continue.
Pleasant experience. It's one that gives one a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose. So, I think that, again, it goes back to values which are largely an anathema to the consumer society. Those are values that are rooted in self-sacrifice. It's about giving. It's about self-effacement. It's about understanding that a life of fulfillment comes through service, not through the attainment and acquisition of money, wealth, and things. And I think that...
Okay, god damn it. Like, and this is where it flies off the rail for me, okay? So check it out. I get you want people to be pious. He said it himself. He's a seminarian. But if you go look in the Bible, it was the pursuit of chasing wealth. It was pursuits of chasing wealth or power and influence in the Bible. And it's fine that, yeah, cool. Service to your neighbors, service to, how you want to treat each other. So, yeah, I don't see you as stolen the virtues of socialism or worse yet, communism. Like, come on, man, come on. He says all the perceived bad things about the current form of capitalism, but he's not talking about getting rid of capitalism. He's just talking about, people just need to start caring about their neighbors. What you're talking about is literally capitalism. The narcissism, the psychopathy, and it, like, of course, he's not using the definitions of like the real words. He's using common vernacular. But it's just this whole pursuit of, I need to be number one. I need to have a spirit of competition against everybody else. But let's continue.
That wisdom, which sort of crosses all religious traditions, is real. I mean, creating community, and Freud wrote about it, Karl Popper wrote about it, brings with it a kind of anxiety and a kind of responsibility. And, Freud would argue even a level of neurosis, because there's always that tension between individual desire and community responsibility. And I think that tension is real, but one that's necessary. And the consumer society plays very well on that, magnifies that anxiety to push people into behavior which is not only destructive to the community, but finally deeply self-destructive. I covered the revolutions in Eastern Europe. I saw how lonely acts of defiance to totalitarian regimes, which at the moment were considered futile, kept alive another narrative, ironic points of light.
Okay, and like, I give him, he did his journalistic due, unlike people like Tim Pool. He actually went out there and actually spoke and actually addressed this. But like, it's more than just saying that, oh, we need to be better. And yeah, let's turn towards sense of community. And like, it's, I haven't watched this video fully through, but it's almost saying like, yeah, that sense of community, like under God. It's like, the fuck, dude, come on now. You were so good. Let's let him finish this out. Let's go.
That's what acts of conscience, acts of rebellion do. It appears often at the moment that it's meaningless, but when you stand up to decayed systems of power, systems of evil, and you speak a truth, even people within those systems hear your voice. And that's why the state is pushing through one draconian law after another, whether it's the wholesale spying and eavesdropping, monitoring, and photographing of every American citizen, whether it's the use of the Espionage Act to shut down whistleblowers, whether it's the National Defense Authorization Act and Section 1021, for which I sued the president in federal court and won, which permits the U.S. military to seize U.S. citizens and hold them indefinitely without due process in military facilities. They're all doing this for a reason. They know what's coming.
Okay, and then we get into the conspiratorial. Well, I won't say that. I won't say that. I will say this. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And quite frankly, some of it is people that's trying to complete their power. But I don't think a lot of these people are smart enough to have this great master plan, because they keep doing dumb shit. Now, maybe they're that much of a mastermind that they keep doing dumb shit to throw us off the trail. That, yes, we're going to look stupid up to a point. We're going to get so many stupid people in our group, and it's going to hide this great mastermind. But I doubt that. But let's continue.
And I've covered uprisings all over the world. You know when the tinder is there. You never know what's going to trigger it. You never know when it's going to come. You never know how it's going to express itself, but you know it's there, and it's definitely here.
And we have the doomer ideology.
The corporate state knows no limits at this point. It has no regulation. It has no government control. It writes its own laws. It writes its own legislation. So that the rise of popular culture and the obliteration of real culture is part of this entire corporate totalitarian assault on beauty and truth. And that's what they have to seek to eradicate, because those forces are ones that remind us about how we should live and about what it means to be human.
So I've always wondered this whole argument when you hear people say stuff like that. What are we supposed to do? Get back to nature? Are we supposed to like destroy our computers, destroy our modern technology to kind of get back to nature? Or should we actually try to revamp the whole way that humans actually live? But let's let them finish. We're almost finished.
You know, going into Sarajevo, which I did during the war, where 2,000 children have been shot, 45 of my own colleagues have been killed, 4 to 5 dead a day, 2 dozen wounded a day, constant sniper fire, wasn't pleasant, but it was meaningful. And one, I think, has to begin to make that decision, whether they want a life that means something, or whether they want to leap from one hedonistic high to another. You can't talk about...
Okay. God damn it. Let's actually get something straight here. When he was doing that shit, of course he was actually enjoying the hell out of it. It wasn't that it wasn't hard. You don't stick around in something like that if you didn't get a rush and didn't get a thrill from it. That dopamine hit was going off for him. And the fact that he's sitting back, oh yeah, I fucking did it. Like, he was the motherfucking man for doing it. Of course, it's about self-aggrandizement. He's falling in the trap that he's worried about everybody else falling into. But let's continue.
About hope if you can't see reality. And reality is pretty bleak. But that's the starting point.
Alright, so yeah, that was the end of that. Like, I'm not gonna say it was, like I said, there was a lot of things in there that I agreed with, some of that I disagreed with, but it was just like, I don't know. Like, my man was trying to sound all enthusiastic and sounding like a little bit more like he was speaking for like the truth and like all kinds of ways in there. But yeah, no. dude, you just as much downhill in the dirt like the rest of us. Although he did make some good points, and I gave him credit for the good points. But Chris Hedges, wow. He, dude, like, yeah. But what do we learn from this? Seriously, we did learn a few things. The fact is that greed is a fucked up thing, and that we need to actually change our society instead of trying to commodify everything. But anyway, as with always, guys, I do want to say thank you for watching this clip. If you want to actually help out the channel, please hit that subscribe button if you're watching later on YouTube, and hit that follow button on Twitch. I'm going to try to get back to a regular streaming schedule. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you want to actually help us support the channel, the links are down in the descriptions. Thank you, and in the video segment here. All right, great. Whew. Like, I mean, like, I give the man credit. I will give the man credit, because it is one of those things where it's just like, let's just say it's, he's trying to speak to a problem that we all see. So many people are focused on us, on themselves, and not out of something malicious, but because so many corporations are trying to make sure that they get as much profit to you, they try to make the different things that you like as part of your identity. And that's a problem. And people are just, like I said, I'm being commodified right now, providing you this video. And, you know, since I'm doing a commodity, you know, you guys may like it. You know, you can always hit that donate button at my Streamlab links up top. But anyway, God, this is fucking. Anyway, so we're going to move on to the next video. And this is actually going to be short. And I'm sorry that I didn't do this a little bit earlier, but yeah, like I discussed in the early part of the stream, it's just like I've been not feeling 100%. But this is actually something that was actually really good. So let's go into this video. All right, guys. So remember how I always say that your representatives aren't your bosses, aren't your leaders, they're your employees. We want to actually take the time here at Crimson 60620. Want to take the time when a representative actually did their job and actually represented you and made sure you were taken care of. Now, this is a little bit over almost 2 weeks ago. But it was actually resolved last Friday. And I know it's old news, but let's go for it. Here we go. I'm going to play the video and then we're going to come back to it.
Congress did not get the moratorium extended on Friday. The president and the CDC have not did not make that happen. And so now this is where we are. We are adding to the housing crisis with mass evictions. My message is, let's get it done. We got to realize the urgency of this moment. We do not need to be forcing people out of their homes, number one, because that is human suffering, and we shouldn't participate in that. But also, in the midst of a global daily pandemic, how do we force people out of their homes and put them in situations where we know that that can be deadly? We're talking about our elders, we're talking about children, we're talking about people who may be immunocompromised. This is not who our country should be. And the leaders in this country, the lawmakers in this country, we have to act. So we have asked for the White House and the CDC to work together, and we need an eviction moratorium. We've asked for House leadership to reconvene the House. Bring us back. We need to know that we have the 218 votes. Let's get this done. And the thing is, these things can happen simultaneously. We need the bill. We need an actual bill, the bill that is on the table that Chairwoman Maxine Waters has introduced, that would be an eviction moratorium through December 31st. We need to at least start there. I want to see that strengthened. I want to see a moratorium through the end of the pandemic, but we at least need to start with the bill that we have.
All right, so let's address this. First off, shout out to Representative from Missouri, Cori Bush. Somebody who's actually had to deal with housing insecurity. Somebody who has to live inside of her car with 2 children. And what she did, she camped out on the steps of the Capitol. You know, the place where 6 months ago people were fucking talking about, we want to take back the people's house and we want to force a dictator into power. Somebody was using these steps to actually help those of you guys who may be home insecure or close to being home insecure. This woman literally slept out in the hot fucking DC summer to make sure she brings attention to the Biden administration of extending the moratorium. And after 4 days, she got it extended another 60 days. It shouldn't take all of this. It shouldn't take that in order to know that you shouldn't put people out during a pandemic. Early in the stream, I said it. You need to make sure that we need to stop decommodifying housing. The fact is, no one should, in this country, the richest motherfucking country, or so they say, no one should actually have to be home insecure. But the fact is, you get these people, I almost said terms of services. You get these people that are so focused on making sure that they have their lobby buddies proud. You have lobbying groups donating to not just Republican, but corporate Democrats as well, in order to make sure they can turn this over so they can get to kicking people out. Do you know how many people that I've known that's trying to get a house, but you get these fucking business firms coming in and offering cash offers to these buyers? I was actually just watching something about how the wholesale marketers are actually driving up the price and causing people not to be able to have enough money to buy homes. All because they want to make a profit. That's why the eviction moratorium, that they want to end it, so they can kick people out and start renting these homes, or kick people, take over these mortgages, and actually just cause a perpetual state of renters. So fuck these people. And you know what? Fuck these people that are so pissed off because the squad, the Justice Democrats, are getting shit done and being in the Democratic Party. Hello, Jimmy Dore fans. There were people that was shitting on Cori Bush because she had the gall to try to do something. So fuck these people. And thank you, Cori Bush, for proving our representatives are not our rulers. They're our employees. Thank you for the other people of the squad, of the Justice Democrats, that actually also push. AOC was out there one night. You know, the one that Jimmy Dore and his little fans are upset because she won't come on their show and he made her. So, yeah. I want to say thank you to Cori Bush because she really, really fucking helped us out. She really stood there and made sure that we were able to extend this moratorium. And you know what? This should be the first step. Not only should we decommodify housing, but this principle, you know, this guy once came up, was called UBI. We should work on. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you for watching this clip. Please help me out by hitting that like button or subscribe, follow. let you know when I go live, and to make sure that we can help support you can help me support the channel. But thank you for watching, and you enjoy the rest of your day, and end the segment here. I'm sorry, guys. That's a quick one that I wanted to do because, man, like I know it's old news, but I am glad that we have our Congress people fighting. I am glad we have our Congress people fighting, because if we didn't, if we would have get these ineffectual, like, okay, sad point. This is the reason why I hate people, especially on the left, that say all elections don't matter. You get somebody like Cori Bush, who literally understands the problems that have faced people that are home insecure. Leftists need to understand that we need to first. A revolution isn't the end all and be all. It's not. I know climate change is going to kill us like really soon, but we can't say we just want a revolution. We can't fall into accelerationist mindset. We can't start LARPing like we're going to start a glorious revolution. Because you know who else LARPs? Those alt-right and right-wingers that you hate so much because you think they're delusional. Leftists, stop this shit. Play the politics games, play the community building, play the network building, but stop this shit about we just need to LARP. It's fucking stupid. It makes us look as foolish as those fucking right-wing militarist groups. Stop the shit. God damn. I am 39 years old, and for all you leftists that sit back and say, oh, we lost this election, so I'm going to step out. Do you know how fucked up the 2000 election was? My first election where I could actually vote, the 2000 election, was fucked up. But you know what we fucking did? We kept it moving. We kept trying to fucking push it. Stop with this shit. If you're a young leftist and you watch me, get over it. You lose. Push harder next time. God. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm sorry for that rant, guys. Let's go to another video. Oh God. All right. Let's go. Okay, we're gonna do this one. This is a video that I pulled not too long ago. It's from Now This News, and it was actually pretty fucking funny and telling. Speaking of representatives that actually do their job, and their job is to promote their constituents' well-being, I thought this was actually kind of hilarious, and we're gonna watch it. It's a little bit of a shorter video. It's not as short as the one we just did, but this is actually pretty cool. So let's go.
The real minimum wage, let's be honest, is not $7.25. It's $0 an hour.
You are clear.
Yes, you heard her. The real minimum wage that you can pay somebody is $0. But let's go.
An evangelist when it comes to not paying workers fairly.
So this is a Koch-funded analysis says that the minimum wage of $7.25 is too high. That's what she says. The wage that cannot allow for you to have working full time, housing anywhere in the country, any county in the country, the minimum wage is too high. But let's continue.
My question to you is it the position of the Commonwealth Foundation that we shouldn't have a minimum wage at all?
Yeah, I would say there really is not a role here for the government to have a wage mandate. So yes, I.
This man, this elected representative, literally just asked a woman, should we just not have a minimum wage at all? This elective representative literally asked, should we just not have a minimum wage at all? Huh? Wait. How? Oh, and she said yes. Oh, okay.
I would advocate for you know, if we're going to do something, you know, there are different tier minimum wages that we can do, but we see that the costs just they outweigh the benefits.
So it is the position of the Commonwealth Foundation that we should not have a minimum wage.
Yeah, we think the minimum wage is harmful and an unnecessary policy.
Okay, so Pennsylvania's minimum wage is the same as the national minimum wage, $7.25 an hour. And this woman, this person, literally says that there should be no minimum wage. Let's hear. Now I'm gonna go back, and I need you to actually look at this. Watch this. $7.25, working 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. It's $15,080. $15,080. That's what the minimum wage is. But it gets better, because watch this. That is less than the goddamn poverty line. It's $3,000 less than the goddamn poverty line. But the minimum wage is too high. It's too high. But let's continue.
I want to thank you first of all for your honesty.
All right, so State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta. Let's have. He's about to have some fun. Yes, let's see this shit.
Your official position is that there should be no minimum wage, and so, you know, if it's $1 an hour, sure, fine by the Commonwealth Foundation, fine by you.
So again, it's talking about Elizabeth Stilley works for the Kochback Commonwealth FDN. Don't know what that means, but let's go. Foundation, I guess.
You are clearly, you know, an evangelist when it comes to not paying workers fairly. So I want to ask you this morning, how much do you make a year, Estelle?
Do you make the minimum wage? Like, seriously, that's what he's asking. Do you make the minimum wage? And let's hear her interesting talk. Let's go.
Excuse me one second. Representative Kenyatta, let's keep the conversation focused on minimum wage.
Mr. Chairman, this is...
Oh, wait. You poors! You can make a minimum wage. As a matter of fact, your wages are too high. But the Kochbacked representative, or the speaker from a Kochback fund. Wait, whoa. What do you mean, how much do I make? Like, we're not talking about me, the deserving. We're talking about the filthy fucking poors. So much so, one of his colleagues is jumping in to stop the questioning. But let's continue.
It's exactly about the minimum wage.
Please be courteous to the testifiers. You can ask questions, but please be polite, be courteous.
Wait, what was so like? I don't think like. Wait. What was his question? Wait. Here, let's see what his question was. Let's see what his question was. This is his question.
I ask you this morning, how much do you make a year, Ms. Dell?
That didn't seem like a rude question.
Polite, be courteous.
I think my question is perfectly polite, Mr. Chairman. We're talking about this morning the wages that Pennsylvanians make. Ms. Dell is a Pennsylvanian who works at the Commonwealth Foundation, which is across the street from our state capitol, and she is sitting here arguing that she is perfectly fine with folks making $15,000 a year. And so,
she's fine with it. Hey, like, cool. She's fine with people making $15,000 a year. Let's make sure she's making only $15,000 a year. Let's do it. As Google says, let's do it.
so my question is, based on her personal experience, does she survive off of $15,000 a year? Do you make more than $15,000 a year, Ms. Dell?
I do not feel that I need to justify.
So I'll take
my
that as a
comments
yes.
by my-
Whoa. Now these dirty poors, of course they need to make less than $15,000 a year. But me, the fuck? I'm white, I'm rich, I'm powerful. Of course I should be making more. But let's continue.
My next question, I'll take that as a yes, Ms. Dell. Thank you. I'll just take it as a yes. Thank you. Going and looking at GuideStar, I could see that your CEO made $290,000 a year. Ms. Dell, should he make less?
Like, this chairman is trying to silence this man when they're talking about Pennsylvania employee wages. What's the problem? What's the problem? I don't see the problem. Unless it's embarrassing because she can't answer. Like, and she even said, it's like, I don't feel like I need to answer. Well, chick, you are here to talk about in Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's citizens pay. You work in Pennsylvania. What do you expect? But let's continue.
Hold on, Representative
Mr.
Kenyatta.
Chairman, nobody else was interrupted.
Representative Kenyatta, you're comparing college graduates with 20 or 30 years of working experience with a high school kid working at a fast food restaurant.
Mr. Chairman.
But would you rather have those people living off the state with food stamps with different assistances? Or do you really want, did you just hear like that elitist ass bullshit where you're talking about somebody that had a college education and is working for 20, 30 years versus just a high school student? And the high school student doesn't deserve to make sure that they make more? I'm confused. You always see this line with Republicans that, oh, if we raise the minimum wage, then the fast food places are going to start replacing people with robots. Oh no, they won't hire as many people because they don't want to pay for the extra. They don't want to pay for the extra cost for employees. But of course, we see that been proved wrong. They're starting to raise pay, and once they start doing that, more people are starting to apply for work. But let's continue.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, your description of who minimum wage workers is completely inaccurate. And there are college graduates in my district who are working 2 and 3 jobs. And so that mischaracterization, if that is the reason you're interrupting my questioning, I think is inappropriate. My question is, if she thinks that $15 is too much, should her CEO make less than the $290,000 that he makes a year? Would that be good for the economy based on her policy experience?
Yeah, it's a legitimate question. If you think that $15,000 a year is actually good enough for just a regular person, what stops her CEO from doing the same thing? What stops her from doing the same thing? But let's continue.
First of all, I would say that personally speaking, at one point in my life, I did make the minimum wage, and I think
she looks so uncomfortable with talking about this. At one point in your life, you made the minimum wage and you fucking hated it. But let's continue.
We live in a country where you're rewarded for what you bring to the table, and so the real minimum.
I make sure people eat on an everyday basis. I make sure that the places that they go sit their ass on in a restaurant is clean. I make sure I service these people. Service. Yeah. I make sure people can actually go to the store and buy the PPE that they need, or the food that they need to eat. But let's continue.
Wage, let's be honest, is not $7.25. It's $0 an hour, because we don't think an individual is going to bring that much value. As an employee, you won't hire them.
I'm sorry, Ms. Snell, that you don't think hardworking.
So in other words, we don't really value these people, and we should actually have a monetary value of how we should value these people. But let's go.
People in my district bring anything to the table. I find that disrespectful.
CEOs really
Mr.
relates
Chairman,
to what we're talking about here.
So he asks a very polite question, and he's been interrupted. He's trying to address something with the witness, and she's interrupting him. It's almost as if they're mad because he's been an uppity Negro. Because he's actually addressing this. He's like, if you feel that $15,000 is too much, why don't you cut your pay to $15,000 a year? And she can't answer that question. But let's continue.
And the comments that the testifier is making,
Mr. Kenyatta,
deeply disrespectful and disparaging.
Mr. Kenyatta.
Mr. Chairman.
No, Mr. Kenyatta.
Thank you.
You can't talk over the testifier. We're going to move on to the next.
But the testifier is talking over to you. God damn it. Oh my God. Damn it. This shit is for the fucking birds. All right. We're almost done.
Next questioner, which is
Mr. Chairman, I was not
Representative.
talking over the testifier. You were talking over me. I asked a series of
Representative.
two. Mr. Chairman, I asked just two yes or no questions, and that's all I'm asking for.
I would
It's a
ask.
yes or no, Mr. Chairman.
I would ask all members, please be courteous and polite with our testifiers. Don't overtalk people, and don't bring up issues that have nothing to do with what the topic is today.
Mr. Chairman.
We're talking about Pennsylvania Commonwealth citizens' pay. Her CEO is a Pennsylvanian. She's a Pennsylvanian. This is about their pay. All right, let's go.
Chairman, my only question was about wages, and I was routinely interrupted,
Kenyatta,
Mr. Chairman,
you're
by
not,
you.
Mr. Kenyatta, you're not recognized right now. Who is recognized?
Yeah, because
Look at that uppity Negro. Let's go.
bringing up something that you don't want to bring up. We have a panel here with no workers, and I'm asking questions of the person you brought to testify.
Okay, Representative.
It's fine.
Representative
I yield back, Mr. Chairman. It's fine. Go ahead.
Time Wolf has signed the current rate of $7.25. It has said the current rate of $7.25 is not a livable wage. No shit, Sherlock. Let's continue. It also been proposed a wait. It has also proposed a $12 minimum wage to go into effect this summer. It should have been that way, dog. It should have been that way. But let's continue.
Raising the minimum wage allows Pennsylvanians to work their way out of poverty. It saves tax dollars. It helps local communities. No one who works hard in Pennsylvania should be living in poverty. Period. I'm pleased.
See, and this is the thing. Like, people need to understand it's about a livable wage. Not only do these companies not want to pay you enough, but they also want to get mad if you start working a different job. But let's continue.
Pleased that the Biden administration also sees the importance of ensuring that workers earn a living wage. But Pennsylvania cannot wait for the federal government to act. We have a responsibility right here to the workers right here in Pennsylvania. And we must act now, right here in Pennsylvania, to raise our minimum wage. Raising the minimum wage will help workers. It will bring more money into local businesses. It will stimulate our economy. But most importantly, it is the right thing to do.
A $15 minimum wage was originally part to be President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion bill, the American Research Plan, was blocked by the fucking turtle. Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy. But let's go. All right. So here, when somebody doesn't want to talk about their pay, it's not illegal, right? It's a social taboo, and we need to start speaking more and more about this. The fact that these motherfuckers were pissed that he started asking how much she made, and they didn't want to answer that, or they didn't want to see her answer it, let you know, they make a lot more than fucking 15 grand a year. But anyway, guys, I'm asking if you can help me out by hitting that subscribe button, hit that follow button, and hit that like button. Share this video around, and yeah, thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and end it here. All right, guys. So I want to thank everybody who's watched today. I want to thank, I only see Hail Satan in the chat, and I want to say thank you for taking the time to watch. I'm going to try to stream tomorrow. I'm sorry, guys. I have to work from 7 to 4 tomorrow, so I'm going to try to stream tomorrow. If I do, I may actually do a little bit of an open stream. But, yeah. Thank you guys for enjoying the night, and I want to actually take it away, Richard.
What do you think that these executives are afraid you're going to do to white America?
Probably stop some racism.
Stop racism?
Yeah. They're probably afraid of that, because then people don't hate each other, then people start talking to each other, and then they start talking to each other, they find out who's the problem.
Which is?
Greedy people.
Greedy. I have a couple things I want to ask you there. Do you really think that some of the guys that you dealt with at NBC, no names, right? Because there's lawsuits for that too, that some of these guys really want to promote racism actively, or is it a subconscious?
I just think it's part of capitalism, is to promote racism, right? In order to make things work. If you feel better because you're white and you can get a job, you use that. I mean, I would.
Absolutely.
Say, I'm sorry, Jack, but shit, they say I'm white. I'm going to use this.
Right. Absolutely.
Get this job. I'm hungry, But, and that separates people. So they keep people separated, and that keeps them from thinking about the real problem. That's as simple as I see it. Probably it's not that simple, but...
Now, all right, you and I are about the same age, right? We're in our mid-30s. How long is it going to take before guys who think like you, and I say guys who think like me, people who don't want to have racism in the country, people who don't want to be oppressing any minority, whatever it is, sexual, whatever minority, really get into positions of power and can change things?
You can't get in a position of power, it seems, if you think like that. It seems that the only time you get in a position of power is if you're like the people that are in power. To me, I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, people that get to become executives become like the people that were already executives.
I don't know, maybe...
They go in with good intentions, but it eats them up. It's like a cesspool, it just gets on you and it starts
the system
eating.
Levels them.
Pretty soon it's all gone.
Is that what a cesspool sounds like?
Yes.